Luke has tested, he can't come. What are the concerns that our youth have? What are the concerns that our elders have? What are the things that youth council can do? These are the questions that I would like for you guys to think about, generate a couple of ideas before we start our little meeting with them.
Hello everybody, I'm Katie Crow. I'm the historian for the Suquamish Youth Council. I would like to thank you all for coming to our lunch, and they can introduce themselves.
My name is Sequoia Charla. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Suquamish Youth Council.
My name is Devin Crow, and I'm the Treasurer for the Suquamish Youth Council.
We're going to Unity in July, and we're going to represent Suquamish. The Youth Council's going, and we all put in to get accepted to Janai, where we'll go to the White House and have dinner with the president. Wow. So depending on who gets accepted, then yeah.
So how many members do you have?
There's 7 of us, but only 6 of us are going to DC because we're not in town.
Okay.
So.
And then as far as what you guys have been working on outside of this, I know this has consumed a lot of time in a short period, and I appreciate you making the deadline of May 8th, even though they extended it. We had dinner with the Quinaults, Sammy and I did, and they did the same thing. They got theirs in by the 8th and all. So we appreciate the fact that you guys met the deadline and all. But in addition to that, what else are you guys working on?
We're working on being more involved in our community, like trying to go to more stuff and trying to plan more like lunches like this, getting res cleanups, and we're gonna hopefully start helping the elders in the elders housing or wherever elders live, and just helping them with whatever they need. So we're just trying to be more involved in the community so that youth and elders know that they can come to us if they need anything.
We also had some concerns about the skate park that there were plans for and scrapped, but we were thinking about maybe even at the new youth center when it opens, there is a field over there on the side that could be visited again, and maybe put the skate park there where it's closer to the youth center and all the other kids' activities, so it'll be close to everything and but there's a concern of it being so far and no sidewalk on Taunton Road. So getting access there, I know there was someone that talked about that a while back, and what is that, WSDOT, we're planning on doing some side work somewhere along.
I know Bob Gates brought up last council meeting, he's working on trying to get sidewalks down there. It's not quite as simple as it sounds, but
yeah.
So it is being looked at and worked on.
Hello everybody, I'm Caitlin Pratt, Miss GC Appledays, and I am also the female representative of the Youth Council.
What have you thought about doing as far as, I know you did the signs around the res for drug prevention, which I think was a really good thing for you to do, but have you come up with any kind of plan for how you can influence young people, maybe even younger than you, to stay away from drugs and alcohol?
Yeah, we're gonna try to have more like basketball tournaments, just to get them more in sports and away from the drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna probably follow up on the call to action and do more stuff with that.
Mm-hmm. So is there going to be a skate park in Suquamish? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, we're gonna try to hopefully bring up, maybe putting it next to the baseball field.
So I've always been supportive of having it. So if we have a space, and then we have to find the money, but I think the location is probably the biggest challenge for us. But it's exciting if that's something the Youth Council thinks is important to help them prevent, substance abuse and other negative behavior in the community. It's awesome.
It's been a long time since we've interviewed our elders. Come Forth Laughing, Waterborne, there was a bunch of interviews back in the 80s. I'm sure there's been some more since, but that'd be a project I'd love to see. Some of my best times, my favorite memories were just, I drove an elder across town, and in that time, I heard, you know, some amazing stories about his lifetime, about things that aren't around anymore, people that aren't around anymore. And I wish that, you know, I had been recording that. We were just driving down the road and he was telling me amazing stories, and he's since passed away. That he, you know, saved somebody's life. They were drowning and he jumped in and saved this kid, and I'd love to find out who that kid was. And so that'd be a great project for a youth council, for youth in general, to work on interviewing elders.
Yes, Linda.
Yeah. One thing I saw when I was in Oklahoma at the Chickasaw Nation, they had in their museum a room with a TV and a VCR back then, DVD, and they let families come in and they videotape the families, telling their history and their family members and everything. And then they have those there in a library so that other family members can come in and watch and see what was said. And then they have this big chest, like a hope chest, that was full of pictures that people could not identify. And so they allowed people to go through them to see if anybody could identify them. You know, so that was really neat too, to keep families, you know, in a history spot with videos.
Another thing is, Haley, I heard you had a great idea for summer youth workers, a job that you were looking into, that you wanted to do. Could you tell me about that and why it's important to you?
I've been looking into helping the council, Wendy Anderson, and I want to do the summer job program and like assist her, and she can teach me a lot through that, because eventually when I'm older I want to be on council.
When you were talking about the storytelling and talking about the elders from before, and we're losing them really fast. You know, my mother was probably one of the latest, or last school, boarding school, thank you. I couldn't think of that word. You know, unfortunately we didn't get any video of her story for that time. I think that a good idea would be to talk about the Bolt decision and the fish wars that happened prior to that decision, and how we ended up there, how we ended up at Bolt. Because there's a lot of people, you know, that are still alive that were part of that rebellion and, you know, getting shot at. And so I think, you know, doing a Bolt decision venue would be a really good idea, talking to people and, you know, their fishing experiences. Where did they learn to fish? You know, who taught them?
She was blind. She lived when I was very young. She was alive. And she couldn't speak English. She could only speak her native tongue, my great-grandmother. And she was blind, so she needed help a lot. And I remember she used to call me Leechin all the time. So when I took our language course here in the tribe, I asked my language teacher what Leechin meant. I thought it meant brave or strong or handsome or something, you know. My teacher laughed at me. She said, that's not an Indian word. She was trying to say Richard, and there's no R's in her language. So she called me Leechin.